Welcome everyone to this new video for week 24. And in this video I will not only review the week but also give a outlook for the week ahead, which I will try and do for every new video from now on. And as always, I will just have a quick look overlooking the pairs roughly and then give you the view in detail. Have fun. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, we had a kind of slow week, to be honest, at least in technical terms, with a few exceptions. So, first of all, we're getting close to summertime, which means liquidity is drying up. Markets move a little bit slower and a slower pace, but geopolitically, we have a lot going on. So, we have, especially sadly, the Israel Iran war strikes going on, possibly leading to a much bigger war. And so this obviously has a big effect in the market. So we just opened, we had a gap here. Let's have a quick look. Um, yeah, gold obviously not yet open. Not yet open. So just the few pairs that open. So we had a little gap there, but nothing major. Yeah, little gap there. Um, so um, let's first have a look at this last week, which happened. So in terms of setups, we had just a few. So it's very good to have a look at because there aren't too many. So we can count them on one hand, I guess. Or maybe it was a little bit more setups, but much less than all the weeks before. So let's dive into this. So the dollar index did what I was suspecting. So we reacted here from this week, Friday, then this is the open of this last week. We had a shift here, price, came back into this, created this huge range, and we never moved above here. This just mitigated this, but we didn't move above. We had the shift here, we stopped in the middle of nowhere basically. That's a low, that's another, and then we just accumulated for basically 3 days here, and then we finally shifted. So these 3 days nothing was going on, and then accumulation happened, boom, there's a drop. That was basically the move we were waiting for. So that's dollar index. So if you will, even on the index there was a setup here like this, yeah, which is not a great ratio, but here to the left these are the lows and these would be the targets. So down here a 1 to 2, that's fine, would have worked. Now same thing for the euro dollar. So obviously same thing, 3-day accumulation here. We had the shift here, imbalance here, tapped in, another shift, boom. At least to this high, which is also a 1 to 2, and that's fine. So this was one setup. Here kind of same thing, but very, very ugly. I don't like the price action of GU lately. But yeah, this is also due to geopolitical tensions and stuff, involvement. So here we go. Technically still had a setup, had to break above here. We did, boom, push higher. But we could have easily skipped this setup or missed it. Now with gold, that was the one real setup this week. So obviously we're still fulfilling this weekly, monthly objective here because we got this high on April. New all-time high at 3.5. Yeah, so we're kind of getting there. Long-term external target. Then we had this target which we just fulfilled, and we had all these shifts here, so bullish price action in play. another imbalance, boom. So multiple opportunities, you just had to be patient, and this would have ran for the whole week. But look at the fucking ratio, man, it's crazy. Even if you would have done it like this, still a 1 to 6. So it's really a crazy ratio. So the worst even would be a 1 to 6, or even here a 1 to 8, which is crazy. So all we're looking for is a 1 to 2. So you could have easily waited for this setup to play out. Really nice setup from this last week. Very, very nice, very good. Now here, to be honest, yeah, we had this shift here, and then we had this kind of beautiful imbalance where price precisely tapped into and then dropped. So yeah, on the low time frame, could have waited for some confirmation here. Like there is a shift. There we go. On the low time frame, boom, news coming in, huge drop, volume, low resistance liquidity sitting here. But to be honest, to be fair, would have missed this setup. But it's a beautiful price action because this is so obvious that this is liquidity. Yeah, with all the confirmations really. So yeah, a good trade here, but I count it as a miss, but you've seen it. Here, not so much, no real confirmation here, but came to this low, and then here actually had confirmation. And even if you would have entered here, stop below this low, we ran a 1 to 1.8. This would be the target. Yeah, 1 to 3, whatever, kind of mitigated this imbalance here, so be careful. I would look for more confirmation now, but there's potential. And here just building liquidity, and that was the week before basically. So that was on Friday, and this week, yeah. So just that you have seen it here. Yeah, kind of the same thing if you even want to count this. Yeah, there's your imbalance on a 2-hour time frame. Yeah, I like it. That's it. So same thing, there is a shift. That was the cleanest of them all basically, because here you had the shift, boom, drop. So even from here there was actually a setup, and even to down here it's a good ratio as you can see, and it dropped much more, and then here another shift. Another shift, and here into the imbalance also. So yeah, that's a very nice trade. Now, what do we got with the other ones? So GJ, we got this resistance, support. Yeah, it really reacted here to this level on a daily, on all time frames, obviously. And we had a shift here, not so clear, but a clear shift with the body protected by the wicks, indicating that we would go higher to where? To the next logical point, which is the imbalance, which is here. This is all efficient price action, so we come here and then again shift here and then drop to the next logical point, which is this imbalance. So there goes your trade. If you would have been very, very extra risky, you could have played it like this, but that would be the safe play, even though this is all efficient. Um, yeah, or you just wait for the shift here and, you know, put the stop above the structural level and then target the same, which is also a 1 to 2, which is pretty nice. So there we go. Yeah, so far we had EU gold as always giving a weekly setup, most of the time a daily, but yeah, a weekly setup because that was a slow week. GJ had one too, and now we go on, and now comes the tricky pairs. So let's get rid of all this noise, man. Yeah, look at this shitty price action here. It's so fucking slow. Yeah, this liquidity, huge accumulation, and then suddenly comes these moves. So there you go. Yeah, structural level here. There's a level sitting which we just came into. Why? Because this liquidity. And now let's have a look at how we could have played this on this time frame. It doesn't make sense, but on the hourly it does. So here you got the shift within these wicks, that's fine, but you got the shift with the body. Then we come up into this level and then boom, get this huge drop. But here we have this micro shift. So that would have been a risk prior to news. So if you don't like this, don't take it. But nevertheless, there was a opportunity with the stop slightly above here. Very, very high risk opportunity. I will not count it, but nevertheless there was a setup and it was indicated with this shift here. And this is the power of higher time frame analysis, and just looking at it at this macro structure, because the institutions have to position themselves long term, and this is a huge accumulation and shift and long term movement, and so you can already like anticipate the news action being the catalyst, as I've shown in the video before, with a high accuracy. And yeah, this is basically it. Yeah, here, to be very honest with you, it would have not been this clear, because here the price action wasn't clear, but it's correlated. So yeah, same thing happened here, but I don't count it. What do we got? Monday. Here we had to shift. Already took it out. That's the low. Let's see. Yeah, no. Nothing for me here, to be honest, and that's fine. Yeah, that was a week before, so not counting it. But here, so still kind of in this huge structure to the upside long term, but here, to be honest, we had one not a good ratio, so that's why I would have not probably taken this setup, and I didn't. But there was one which came into this imbalance, enter on the imbalance, stop below there. There we go. Yeah, would have worked. That was the one setup, and now here, very high risk just at the mitigation low. Can also wait for the confirmation, then it's just a later entry and a stop below here. So this is both possible, just with a worse ratio. Now here, kind of same thing. We got this low here. This is obviously liquidity, you know, getting built up. Nice trend line action here for all the trend line guys. And especially here before that trend line break, we had to shift, a real shift. So you would have been, oops, so you would have gotten in early here and, you know, target this low. But it's nevertheless a risky play. Could have waited for that shift here. That's a clear shift. Yeah, ratio is not so great, but here's the real low. So you got these two targets and it would have worked. So yeah, even here was set up. Yeah, obviously the dollar moving by the middle of the week then, as we saw before. Yeah, Tuesday here, we got Tuesday mitigation, and here we got the shift, then had to wait for a real shift here, and let's have a look. Well, that's the ratio, also not that great, but there we go, it was set up. Yeah, here kind of Wednesday mitigation, same thing, same play. Yeah, right here at this point. Here is the low. There is a shift right before some news too. So if you would have gotten in here to this low, also a 1 to 2, a nice trade. Yeah, it was kind of also yeah, you could put it up here and it's still a 1 to 2 basically. Yeah. So as you can see, there were many setups. Even here, another one. It was still a slow week, to be honest, because normally we have multiple setups per pair. But yeah, here's another one. As you can see, that was a week before. And that was just the reaction. Here we got the shift. To be fair, we probably had it like this too. And target this low or the imbalance here. So yeah, a 2 play. And that's a very, very big, long setup. Just using this as low resistance liquidity. Boom, it pushed up. And why is that? So we have the daily here, we got the daily shift. Price came down into, or not into this imbalance, but internally. What is this? Accumulation again. It tapped into this imbalance though, and yeah, this is accumulation again, and boom, pushing up. Now we've also tapped into here technically, but it looks like this is also liquidity, like we could come back into here or here and then make the move, or push lower, you know, we would need confirmation, but that is the play. And so far it already moved nicely. Yeah, so still running. Here there's a very clear, beautiful setup, to be honest. Why? Because it's very high time frame like. So we've got this weekly level here, as you can see, and the imbalance tapped into the weekly imbalance, very strong. Then we got the shift here, another imbalance here on the 4-hour time frame, shifted and boom, came into this, took out these lows, this double bottom here being liquidity basically, and then closed very nicely here, shifted again with the wick, with the full body, and then yeah, push. So very nice setup here. Here just messy price action, not so clear honestly. Was it on this time frame? To be honest, can't even tell you why I really saw this. Yeah, it was on this time frame. So we got shift here, imbalance here. Yeah, so we got this shift here. It's very messy price action. That was actually a risky setup. So I will delete it, man, because it's not that clear. But what was clear came to this low here, as you can see, obviously. And then we shifted, and this, look at this, is all liquidity being. So yeah, just this low here. Messy price action, but this one has been clear. And then here we got the shift, and that was actually a proper setup. And you know, placing the stop below here, and yeah, really target this level, say 1 to 4. Very nice trade here, euro in action. And now comes the very minor pairs. Yeah, so this one, yeah, obviously like a shift here. Yeah, came back up here, shifted here, more accumulation. Yeah, here, very clear shift, and right here, like this, would have worked, and then basically target this low, which is also a nice trade. So as you can see, yes, we had so many setups, but the week nevertheless has been messy and slow across the board. So we definitely had to wait like a longer time. But that's fine. Yeah, here same thing. We got the imbalance here. Very clear setup on this one. Got the imbalance here, then got a shift here. Could have waited. Yeah, you see this. Stop above here, protected, and boom, a 1 to 2. So look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 setups already. Yeah, basically nearly in every pair, obviously, because they all kind of give most of the time at least one setup per week, sometimes less, as you can see here. Just huge accumulation, so something's going on here, but we weren't able yet to break above here, so technically everything's possible. Could do this, whatever. Yeah, like everything's possible. That's just have a see, have a look if we're able to break above here, and then we could fly. So here's potential on this one. I'll actually unflag all of them, sorry, and already flag the potentials. Just keep that in mind. Was it here? Yeah, I think it was here. Yeah, I don't know. We have to see. But yeah, let's have a look at this one. Same thing here, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, just tapped into this imbalance here. This is all liquidity. Boom, down here. Tapped into this one, and now kind of shifted and tapping into this one. Yeah, so we have to see here. Could be potential on the Japanese yen pairs. We have to see. For last week, nothing here on this one. Here same thing here on Thursday. It wasn't beautiful because it was just taking out the external, now coming back. So looking for buys didn't make much sense at the time. But here we go. So we clearly, mitigated and shifted. So yeah, there was actually setup, but the ratio wasn't too great. Unless you would have gotten in here, down here, with the imbalance. So something like this, and then wait for the break, and then target this, which is a 1 to 2. So management in that trade. Yeah, this one's just flying. Why? Why is it flying? Because it is fulfilling its objective. External is up here. Yeah, so just big accumulations you can see, like here, same thing here, now flying. News being the catalyst. And remember, both are kind of considered as safe haven at times. So yeah, special pair of the miners, and there we go. Yeah, that was last week. Same thing here again. Japanese yen pair dropping. So we had external taken out, had shift here. Target could have been imbalance or this one. So you would have at least would have had a 1 to 1.7 ratio. There we go. Isn't it fun, guys? Isn't it fun to do this job? Like with patience. Look at how much is possible, and look how shitty this pair looks, man. Fuck. It's just one big range, man. Since April, what the fuck? 2 months of doing nothing. What the fuck? Yeah, talking about accumulation. What a shitty pair. I should delete it, man. Nothing. Don't want to be involved in such a shitty pair, man. Like, what the fuck? Alright. That's low. Yeah, coming into the imbalance here. There is a shift. This is all liquidity. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. External. And why? Because look at it. It is a shift here again and again to the upside. There's a shift. So there we go. Clear one here. Like objective should be here. Yeah. And GBP. What's going on here? Well, yeah, just shifted here. So that was a, yeah, obvious setup. Also came into this imbalance, so it's all efficient. Yeah, and on a lower time frame, here definitely was a setup. So here, and then could have waited for the shift here. Price came back. Could have played it like this and still would be a great ratio. Obviously, some nice trade here. Now what do we got on Bitcoin? The mighty Bitcoin. Monday, yeah. Nothing on Bitcoin here because it's just doing its thing, but it could shift here potentially. It could, don't, like, very big if, or could shift here. Like it's just creating a range here, so we would have to see, depending on the stuff going on in the world. Same thing here. However, it is looking bullish, but then again, this whole thing is range and accumulation, so yeah, be careful. Now here, yeah, that was last week. Not trading against the trend from external to internal. Always want to do the other way around, but here was a nice shift, like here, and yeah, so it just could play out. You know, obviously the DAX is just, yeah, moving slowly here. It, however, created that range, accumulated, and now it looks like it takes out all of this liquidity. So I'm bearish for now into this imbalance here. It looks like it, but yeah, if you wanted to play it risky, here was your shift, and then you could have played it like this, you know, and here to fill this imbalance, but the, yeah, ratio was okay, but I would have not taken this one, too risky for me. Here actually a nice where was it, the hourly, yeah, on the hourly, either way a okay trade, okay ratio, yeah, that was fine. And now the big one, obviously, because sadly we're in this war period again, and what happens in this war period? Well, obviously oil rises, it climbs to the top, but that was to be anticipated because we look at it from a technical standpoint, nothing unexpected, just news, the catalyst pushed it rapidly. But this movement to the upside was anticipated because we tapped into this weekly imbalance. We had multiple shifts here, especially here, and then from here, you know, protecting this low because this is all efficient, so no need to go all the way down here, and then targeting this imbalance here, and you see it would have worked rapidly for a swing trade due to the war going on. And this is oil, and that was last week, and that was accumulation. Now, I don't like one bit how this fucker moves since 2 months. I mean, look at it. It was anticipated, but look how slow this one moves. So yeah, don't really wanna trade it, stay out. Here, I initially, to be very honest, expected this one to go lower, but obviously we came back into this imbalance, so I actually count this one as a loss. But you see, if you would have placed a stop like this and anticipated without being too greedy just this imbalance, you would have had a 1 to 2, which is all we want, a nice trade. But nevertheless, count this as a break even or loss. And then we came into here, into the imbalance, and now we would need to shift to give us a setup. So just have to see what price is doing. Yeah, here was one reaction from this imbalance to the low. There we go. And as always, not really looking at these. Yeah, but I'm sure they had some too. There is movement. Yeah, there you go. So give me a second. This one's a nasty, nasty setup here. So because you could have easily, yeah, okay, it's clear. I don't know why, yeah, this level even doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there is the low. This is why you see this reaction. But from here, from this internal level, could have easily misinterpreted this as a shift, but as a false one. And why? Because we had this imbalance we tapped into, then again got another shift here, and that's a real low. Yeah, alright. So Bitcoin has to develop, as you can see here. We'll just find out. For now it looks bearish, gotta be honest, because we even tapped into this imbalance here. Yeah, it looks bearish to me. Yeah, so the watch with more confirmation please, should price come back down here, would be this one. So we would anticipate movement and then break above here and come here. So here is actually potential for this one. So that is on the list. Coming to the watch list for the week, you know, yeah, so there's actually potential. So we just have to see what this one wants to do. Yeah, as I said, this one's gone, just let it run. Here, yeah, potentially the same, but we already took out this external, and to be honest, we have this imbalance. Why do I know? Because that's the extreme one on a higher time frame. This is a double bottom, so this all looks like liquidity, and in the long run it could just drop until here potentially. Like, this is what I could anticipate with confirmation. So we have to see. Well, oil I don't want to touch at this point. Why? Because the war is going on, or at least the strikes, hopefully not a big war, and there could be rapid movements, and we don't know. Like, this could be very, very rapid with stuff developing so fast. Yeah, like long term it could and should come back up here, but for now we don't know. Could easily drop lower and then move. I'm just not sure. This one's moving too slow. Nothing here. Alright, so that's done. Now coming to the main watch list, and again I draw it freshly for you guys and for me. So what is the dollar telling me what it could do? Yeah, to be honest, this next week could be tricky. Why? Because let's have a look at the news. So that's a big one. That's a big one. Big one. Very big one. Like at least the planned ones. Big one. Very, very, very big one. Here on Wednesday. Big one. Very big one. So yeah, man, very big one. There's so much news this next week, so this could, yeah, be a very tough week, to be honest. And we also, from technical standpoint, fulfilled external, could come back to internal. Man, like this could be a very, very rough, nasty week, not gonna lie. So we have to prepare for it, and I don't say that lightly. And it's a little bit yeah, it's a little shame because that's the first week I want to give the outlook, but yeah, could play out. As I've indicated before, the JPY pairs seem to line up something, and as we saw, we have this one on Tuesday, so I expect Monday to be slow, to be very slowly, and yeah, there could be something on the JPY pairs, so just keep them in mind. For the euro, I actually see price could drop. It could drop lower into this imbalance here. Yeah, just gapped. So we're obviously bullish, so price could potentially come in here and from here shift. So we have to see, we could potentially see this, but I would see this midweek due to the news. We will have to see. Yeah, I don't see much here either going on, but again, could be midweek. That's just the preparation. Yeah, here could be something or go lower. Really not sure. You need to wait for confirmation. Now with gold, gold could gold should fly higher, but it looks like we reject this a little bit. So where could we come into? Well, at least into this. Let's refine it a little bit. We already used this one. Here seems to be a 1. So yeah, this aligns inside this imbalance, so we potentially could see something from here. But I'm not sure if we come into this before we take out the high. Everything's possible. So yeah, potentially, maybe, I don't know. We have to see. Here, actually, nothing. Not sure, not sure, not sure. We just have to see. Yeah, already tapped into here. There's the final one. Yeah, it should just move higher. You see? Yeah, very tricky. From here, we potentially could see a reaction. Same as with the small caps. So yeah, actually put it on the list. It seems to be the cleanest here. Seems to be the cleanest.
we had the shift here. So yeah, anticipating bullish price action could also be from here already. We just have to see. It's on a list. With GJ. With GJ for now. I'm not sure. So let's be objective here. Created huge liquidity to the upside. Took out this slightly. What does that mean? Shifting, going to the imbalance, which we did here. There we go. Really not sure what I should do with this pair. Yeah, really can't say. Here, this is, we didn't gap into this. Can't say, man. I need more price action. What is the high time frame saying? Yeah, high time frame is bullish, obviously. It's also bullish. Yes, we are bullish. Yeah, all right, if price comes into here, I kind of would be interested with confirmation to trade it in here. So that's it. Yeah, man, this pair, same thing here to the upside. It's all set up due to the news. I expect huge liquidity and price action due to the news coming in. This, to be honest, if we come back down here, and if we get confirmation, this also looks bullish, but I'm not. It's not great price action here. Yeah, same thing. They're all set up this way, like something huge would come. Here, kind of set up bullish too, you know. Here, shift within the wick. I'm not really sure, man. Like, if we get confirmation, alright. That's just the direction. So let's definitely wait for confirmation. Here, same thing. Yeah, long term. Nothing, no. No, staying on the high time frames. No, just pushing and moving, and this one's gone too. Well, actually, if this one comes into here, I kind of would be interested. But yeah, we have to see and have to wait. Let's just wait and see. This one's gone too, could come down here also. Yeah, and I'm obviously setting the alarms off screen because you don't have to see this. It's in my CTrader account because they're all free. no, that one's gone too. Could come back into the imbalances, but we will have to see. Yeah, it looks like this week's best bet would be on a lower, like middle time frame, not too low, like not 5 minute or 1 minute, but would be a intraday hourly swing, if you will, or something setting up. But these other ones were kind of looking fine. Yeah, they're all setting up. Like there's nothing really clear as of now. NAS was actually looking the best, I guess, with this one too. Yeah, we will have to see. Have to see. Yeah, this one's setting up too. Yeah, actually, this one is kind of my favorite swing play. Yeah, because this one actually could set up in the next hours and then swing and play. And this actually would be a kind of, yeah, kind of 1 to 2 here. Yeah, so this one's setting up. Yeah, actually this one's my kind of favorite with NAS. And yeah, for the week, so we have to see. Also, because of the news, it's not so much affected by the dollar news, which are coming in, and the Japanese yen interest decision and all of that. Yeah, so I think that's it. So we're kind of about to be in for a heavy week, as you have seen. Heavy week incoming, and a lot is setting up right now. Yeah, so we will have to wait and kind of not improvise, but adapt uh, into this week, because this one could be rough. Yeah, so nothing clearly setting up except these few. Alright, I hope this video helped. Much love to you guys, and have a great week, and see you next week. Bye bye.